Hi Explorers! Our next story is called The Year We Learned to Fly. The author's name is Jacqueline Woodson and the illustrator is Rafael Lopez. Here are the end pages at the beginning of the book. As you know, I always like to see if they change at the end of the story. That was the year we learned to fly. That was the spring when the rain seemed like it would never stop and the thunder boomed so hard we weren't allowed to go outside. Use those beautiful and brilliant minds of yours, my grandmother said. Lift your arms, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and believe in a thing. Somebody somewhere at some point was just as bored as you are now. So my brother and I closed our eyes, and for a few minutes that first day, we weren't stuck in our apartment anymore. We were flying over the city we'd known our whole lives, but it was suddenly different, exploding with every kind of flower we'd ever dreamed of growing. That was the summer we learned to fly, when my brother and I couldn't stop fussing with each other over whose turn it was to wash the windows or feed the dog or clean the kitchen. We even fought and frowned and made silent promises to never speak to each other ever again. My grandmother said, lift your arms, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and stop being so mean about everything. Somebody somewhere at some point was just as mad as you are now. So we did, and as the soft wind took us over the city and past the windows of kids who hadn't yet learned to fly, my brother and I reached for each other's hand, flying and diving and laughing and leaving all of our mad far behind us. That was the autumn in our rooms. It felt too big and lonely with only us in them and the darkness coming on so fast. But while we hugged ourselves against the too quiet of it all, we remembered that we didn't have to be stuck anywhere anymore. My grandmother had learned to fly from the people who came before. They were aunts and uncles and cousins who were brought here on huge ships with their wrists and ankles cuffed in iron. But my grandmother said that no one can ever cuff your beautiful and brilliant mind. So our people learned to fly, she said. They dreamed a thing and made it happen, closed their eyes and flew away home. Lift your arms, my grandmother said. Close your eyes and remember that somebody somewhere at some point had figured out they could fly. That was the winter we moved away from the building and the block and the friends that we had always known, to a street where the kids looked at us funny and didn't even answer when we asked them if they wanted to play. It's okay, I said to my brother. Somebody somewhere at some point had to figure out that they were ready for new things coming their way. So like the people who came before us, we lifted our arms even higher. We closed our eyes even tighter. We breathed in even deeper and flew away that we always knew how to. Free as the aunties and uncles and cousins who had come before us. Free as our own beautiful and brilliant minds. For a long time, the kids on the ground watched us. And then one by one, they lifted their arms. And one by one, they too learned to fly. The first time I read The People Could Fly, American Black Folktales by the brilliant Virginia Hamilton, I realized that through her beautiful story, I was learning to fly, not with wings, but with words. Her book is the story of how enslaved people escaped hard lives by lifting up and flying away home. And every page is anointed with the beautiful illustrations of Leo and Diane Dillon. As a kid, I always wondered how people were able to survive through the horrors of enslavement, but they did, and they passed down their stories and their fables and their memories to the young people coming along after them. And these stories gave us wings. Virginia Hamilton gave me and so many other writers storytelling wings. And with these wings, I have been able to fly past even the hardest of times into the world of my stories. Sometimes the first step towards change is closing our eyes, taking a breath, and imagining a different way. Jacqueline Woodson. That's a powerful book, boys and girls, with a really powerful message. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, explorers.